around the clock. Now for this step, you're going to be a little bit extended. Your body's going to be extended, so you're going to need a little bit more room, all right? So we're going to start in a plank position, just like this. And things to be mindful of, don't lift your bottom up. Try to keep your hips low. And a good way to you know that you're doing this is by keeping your shoulders over your hands, okay? Now, with this step, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a direction. And right now, since it's called around the clock, we're going to go the same direction of the hands of a clock. Okay, so we're going to go clockwise. And what you're going to do is you're going to step around your feet. So this is how the step looks, just to show you. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to follow the pattern of over, out, under, out. And what I mean by that is you are going to step over your foot, bring that foot out. Then you step under that foot, bring that foot out. So you step over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out. Okay? So with this step, another thing to be mindful of is not to step too big, okay? When you make your steps, try to make your steps tight, like you're stepping almost right next to your foot. So what I mean by that is, stepping big would look something like this. Okay? Now, you can do whatever you want in breakdancing, right? In breakdancing, there's free range for your creativity. But if you want it to look nice and smooth and fast, try to keep your steps tight and together, okay? For example, just like this, okay? Now following the same format, going over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, okay? Let's try that the opposite direction. So, we were going clockwise when we started, now we're going to go counterclockwise. Or if you started counter, you're gonna go clockwise. So, whatever direction you haven't done yet, do it now. So starting at the top, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, over, out, under, out, okay? Now, every time that you do around the clock, you wanna try and do a full rotation. That counts as 1. So if I were to say do 5 around the clocks, you would go all the way around, and that would be 1, okay? So that's a good way for you to practice and remember. And this step is great because if you learn this step very smooth and fast, it's gonna help you to learn all the other breakdancing steps that there are, and it's gonna make it much easier for you to pick those up. So be sure to practice this step. And it's also a great workout for you as well, okay? So enjoy this, play around with it, and see how fast you can get it. Okay, we have finally arrived at our last step of our 5 foundational steps of breakdancing. And can you think about what that might be? We usually finish in something that shows that we're done. In breakdancing, we call that a pose or a freeze, all right? So that's one way that you can show that you are done with your breakdancing set, okay? A simple freeze that we're gonna learn today, we're gonna learn the back freeze, and we're also gonna learn a headstand, okay? And headstands come from gymnastics, but they're heavily used in breakdancing for different poses. And many of you may know that breakdancing is heavily known for head spins, okay? So, with our back freeze and thinking about our headstand, I want you all to utilize the shape of a triangle, okay? Triangles are very important and very structurally sound as bases because of their configuration, okay? Now, when we're doing our back freeze, what you're gonna do, you're gonna think about putting the pressure to hold yourself up on your elbows, okay? So my elbows are tucked underneath me, and the back of my head. So I'm basically distributing the weight of my triangle from here to here. So between this triangle that I'm creating on the floor here. So my head's here, elbows are here. And I'm using that positioning to hold myself up to create different poses, okay? So this is also basically like a candlestick freeze, okay? So breakdancing uses a lot of different positioning from other physical activities and incorporates it for our dance, okay? So please play around with this freeze, do different positioning, okay? So I'll turn around this way so you can see some of the different poses that I'm doing. You got your diamond freeze, okay? You got your straight leg freeze. You got your open straddle freeze. You got your Nike freeze. You do your Nike freeze on the other side. You got your tuck freeze. You got your stack freeze, okay? So these are all the different freezes that you can do. Play around with them. You got your four freeze, or maybe a little upside down tree pose if you'd like, okay? So play around with these, boom, right? And as you get more comfortable, you can start maybe doing them one-handed, grabbing your foot, and being more creative in different ways to make the pose more of your own, okay? Now, the second freeze we're gonna learn today is a headstand, okay? And you can actually, that's why I have all this hair, so it doesn't hurt my head, right? That's why I keep it there. But if you don't have as much hair in your head as I do, you can get a pad or a pillow or something you might have at home. Okay, we have these trusty old CircEsteem pads here, okay? And I'm gonna put this on the floor, just like this. Now, I'm still thinking about my triangle here, okay? My head is gonna be at the top point of the triangle. And my hands are gonna go at the base points of the triangle, or the bottom points, okay? So my head's here. Hands are at the base. Now, you're gonna lift your bottom up, just like this, and you're gonna walk your feet towards your face, okay? So take your time, you're on your head, hands are planted, comfortable. Walk your feet towards your face, because that's gonna make your back nice and straight, okay? So here, walk your feet toward your face. Then, when you're nice and comfortable, you would lift one leg first. Put some weight on there. Keep your other foot on the floor. Put it down. Switch to the other side. Put a little weight. Okay, I'm putting my knee on top of my elbow. So my knee is going right here. Okay, just like that. Once you're comfortable, you would lift both legs up. Okay, don't go any further. Don't go any further than this position until you feel comfortable. Okay? Once you feel comfortable in that position, I'm going to turn this around, then you would be able, okay, to kick up into it once you're comfortable. And then you can start lifting your legs once you're comfortable. So make sure that you're taking your time to practice and get your balance and control. And then you can start doing different freezes, just like you did on your back freeze. Okay, so all the same poses. Okay, got your tuck, straddle, Nike, stack, okay? Pike freeze, okay? These are all different things you could do. You can put one leg up back on your arm. Do the other side, okay? So these are just examples, very small examples of what you can do in a headstand to make it breakdancing, okay? So think about different freezes that you can do. Think about how many different freezes you can transfer into from one another, and try to get them as fast and smooth as possible, okay? And most importantly, try to stay on beat. There's nothing wrong with you maybe trying to hit the beat with different freezes that you've learned or that you're trying to practice, okay? So always remember the music, and once you've practiced all 5 of these foundational steps, it's time to put it all together. So let's get to it.
If you want the best, so put me to the test, and I'm sure you'll soon agree that I got no flaws, cause I'm down by law when it comes to rocking viciously. You see, cause when I was a little baby boy, my mama gave me a brand new toy. 2 turntables with a mic, and I learned to rock like a Dolomite. Time went by on this God creation. I knew someday I would rock the nation, so I made up my mind just what to do. And I joined with the Jim on production crew. So go crazy, go crazy. Don't let your body be lazy. I said don't stop the body rock till your eyesight starts to get hazy. Clean out your ears and you open your eye. If you want to hear the music, just come alive. If you don't know how, get ready to learn. Cause Cosmo's taking his turn to burn.
Take the C and O in the C, then you add M-O and the freaky D, add a funky beat, and then what do you see? It's Cosmo D, yeah baby, that's me. I've got the beat, but that's oh so sweet. Without me rocking, it's incomplete. So rock this yo, rock that yo, rock on it, don't you dare stop. Rock this funk attack to the beat, yo, get down. Let me rock it to the rhythm of the funky sound. From hill to hill, from Z to Z, and when jam on's rocking, everybody screams. Jam on it, jam on and on and on and on it. And if you're feeling like you wanna dance on that, then go on ahead and blow it. Cause jamming on is what we do best. It's what separates us from the rest. And if you don't think our crew's down for real, let me tell you what happened to the man of steel.
Superman had come to town to see who he could rock. He blew away every crew he faced until he reached our block. His speakers were 3 stories high with woofers made of steel. And when we brought our set outside, he said,
Real. He said I'm faster than a speeding bullet. And when I'm on the set, I don't need no fans to cool my ass. I just use my super breath. I can fly 3 times around the world without missing a beat. I socialize with X-ray eyes and ladies. This is sweet.
and then he turned his power on and the ground began to move. And all the buildings for miles around was
I hope you all enjoyed this instructional breakdance video today. Please practice at home because that's the only way that you're going to get better. I hope to catch you in the circles out there someday, and be ready to hit those beats when you see me, all right? Be sure to log on to CircEsteem.org for all updates and programming, and we hope to see you there. Take care and peace.